As we say, Nick, it is that time of year again. We got to get crazy to find some stories to talk about. But what else is better to talk about than none other than a schedule breakdown, a run through of the schedule? And let's see where the Minnesota Vikings are going to be this year. Do they make the playoffs? Are they on the cusp of greatness? Do they just miss out? We're going to go through what we think based on their schedule here. But before we get there, Vikings fans, leave in the comments below, what do you think the Vikings schedule will be this year? Are they going to make the big time Super Bowl run? Are they going to just miss out on the playoffs? But just leave it in the comments below. Let us know what you think the Viking schedule is this year. But Nick, what do you think about all of this?
Yeah, so you and I were kind of looking through stories of what's going on in the NFL. We found something interesting. Colin Cowherd, host of the very popular show The Herd on Fox Sports 1, had this to say about the Vikings. He said, quote, "I think the Minnesota Vikings will be the most improved team in the league with an offensive head coach." This isn't the first time Colin Cowherd is saying his praises of Minnesota Vikings. He actually predicted they'd double their win total this season, which means they'd win 16 games. So that obviously raised our eyebrows. So we said, okay, let's look at the schedule and let's see what the Vikings can do this season. What do we got? Get us started, Miles. What's the Viking schedule
All right.
looking like?
On our first slate of games, we have Vikings week 1 versus Green Bay pulling out a big time win early on. Week 2 versus the Philadelphia Eagles is a win. A win week 3 versus the Detroit Lions. Week 4, a loss to the New Orleans Saints. Week 5, a win against divisional rival the Bears. And week 6, a win against the Dolphins. And they come out hot, 5-1. What do you think?
Yeah, so I think they kind of get a favorable schedule, so to speak, looking at the teams they're matched up against, because teams like the Packers, they tend to start slow. The Eagles are going to start slow. Both teams have new weapons. Same thing. I look at the Dolphins, right? All three of these teams are kind of new big play receivers, new getting the quarterback timing, all that worked out. It's going to take a good part of the season to get there. And I think the Vikings, they have a lot of continuity. Obviously, Kirk Cousins with Jefferson in that offense, they're going to roll right into the season with a lot of momentum. I think they're going to be able to come out strong. I look at the loss to the Saints as not really that big a deal because you and I have talked about the Saints. They're going to be like one of the surprise teams in the NFC this year. They are stacked on both sides of the ball. I think that's a competitive loss too. So I think the Vikings really start strong.
Oh, yeah. Saints definitely have a championship level defense. So that's something that's going to be slightly difficult for the Vikings early on. But let's get into our second slate of games. Nick, we have a week 7 bye. It's a pretty preferable bye. Get through 6 games, get a little rest. That 7, 8, 9 is a good spot to have the bye. Week 8 versus the Cardinals, a loss. Week 9 versus the Commanders, an easy win. Yep. Week 10 versus the Bills, loss. Week 11 versus the Cowboys, a loss. Week 12 versus the Patriots, loss. Probably the most brutal stretch of the Vikings schedule. 4 losses and 1 win here. What do you got, Nick?
Yeah, so I mean, it's the first segment, they had a lot of good luck. The second segment, they get a lot of bad luck. They played the Arizona Cardinals in the first half of the season when the Cardinals are generally at their best. And this is right after Cardinals receiver DeAndre Hopkins is going to come back from suspension. Not good timing for the Vikings to play them there. They crushed the Commanders, no problem there. They have to go to Buffalo with one of the best rosters in the NFL. That's tough. They get Dallas at home, which is normally a toss-up, but considering the Cowboys have somehow beaten the Vikings the last 2 seasons with Andy Dalton and Cooper Rush, it sounds like the Cowboys may have the Vikings number a little bit. Hard to pick them there. And then they have to go to Foxborough and play they get the Patriots at home, but they get them on a short week. It's on a Thursday game. That's tough to play the Patriots on a short week. So again, just a brutal stretch here for the Vikings.
Oh, yeah, but nonetheless, I think they can bounce back from this, and that is when our third sheet of games comes into play. We've got a bounce back week 13 win versus the Jets, another win against the Lions in week 14, a loss to the Colts in week 15, a win against the New York Giants week 16, loss to the Green Bay Packers in week 17, and finally, a win to round out the season, week 18 versus the Bears.
Yeah, so the Jets win, obviously a big get-right game. I think they demolish the Jets. I think they go to Detroit and get some revenge for the Lions because obviously the Lions beat the Minnesota Vikings for their first win last season. I think that game in Detroit is really a revenge game for the Vikings. I think they probably demolish the Lions if I had to bet. I think they playing the Colts, even though they get the Colts at home, the Colts are a brutally good road football team. That's a really tough matchup. If the Vikings can win that game, I think they're a top flight contender. I just think it's a tough game to win. So I think that's why that's a loss there. They handle the Giants with these. The Giants are terrible. Then they have to go to Green Bay late in the year. That's really hard to go to Lambeau Field, play Aaron Rodgers late in the year. That's really, really tough. So I'm going to pick the Vikings to lose there. And then they finish out the season with a strong win of the Bears. I think it's kind of a Kirk Cousins last stand here, and they go ahead and handle the Bears and finish the season strong.
Yeah, no, I think like we said, they start strong, have a tough middle, and finish strong. And going through all of the results of this, we have the Vikings at 10-7, second in the NFC North with a wild card spot, probably right where they want to be.
Yeah.
Just make it into the playoffs, and that's all you need is a hope and a prayer. And I think this Vikings team, with all the weapons they have around both sides of the ball, have a shot to do something in the playoffs this year. All right, Nick, it's time to get your internet privacy back today on every device you own in any country you want. Don't let anyone but you control your internet. NordVPN keeps you safe from prying eyes wherever you go online with their military-grade encryption. Is your favorite Netflix or streaming content blocked in the US? You can simply connect to one of the many countries available with NordVPN and get the access you need.
That's right, Maya. So right now, get our exclusive NordVPN deal here at nordvpn.com/SMI. It's risk-free now with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee. Again, get that exclusive deal, nordvpn.com/SMI.